Hello, amigos and amigas, and welcome to another Los Mailbag del Triforce.
Amigas.
Yeah, that's the female equivalent
and
of
hello,
Amiga.
Commodore 64s.
Commodores
hello,
and Commodorettes.
Sega Mega Drives, Sega Master Systems.
And everyone from all across the spectrum.
Genesis and Jenna Bro.
Spectrum? Nobody gets it? Okay. No, we'll move on. I thought it was a good one.
Thank you to the listener who sent me a copy of the book Super Nintendo, which I will hopefully be reading over Christmas. That was my original console, so it's my...
Super Nintendo was your original.
So, yeah.
Very nice.
Well, my neighbor had a NES, and I did play that, but the first one I ever got given... Oh, such a core memory, going to Colchester Town Centre and buying a Super Nintendo for Christmas, picking it out.
We're heading to the big city today, young Lewis, to pick up your Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo, Mum.
Yeah. It was a rare time when my parents listened to me about the thing I wanted and didn't just get what they thought it was that I wanted. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, actually, you're from Essex,
still
aren't you?
happens these days,
Mum,
right?
Dad, I want a fucking Super Nintendo. You've been good enough playing with your regular fucking Nintendo,
So
little cat.
you joke, but my partner...
I want a Super fucking Nintendo right there.
You joke, you jest. But in the early Yogsels videos, I was so much more Essex than I am now.
I would love to hear
it's
that.
So crazy. Well, you can watch the old videos. I sound completely different. And my partner was like, this isn't you. Like, this can't be you.
You got all
posh.
posh.
Something like the Don't Starve challenge or something.
He's gone completely
Once they
posh.
got 1 million subscribers and I became posh. It's a lot more than that now. And every million subscribers
Plenty more where that came from.
a little posher with every subscriber.
My mum did send me a copy of some video of me when I'm, like 14 or 15. And I sound completely different.
I'd love to see this.
It's crazy. Yeah, maybe I'll get it.
Maybe we can get
It's
the
on a
audio.
DVD.
Just get the audio of you going, oh, I got it like that. That'd be hilarious. I'd love to hear that.
I would love to hear that too.
It's very. I'm very embarrassed by it though. So it'll take one of those. I'll have to try and. I don't know. It's funny. It feels like I am a different person, right? And it's a different world. I can't remember what we didn't talk about in the podcast that we did yesterday. Let alone.
No, me neither.
What my life was like.
I'm drawing a blank.
20.
Did we do one yesterday? We did, right?
Yeah, we really
the regular episode. Yeah.
We did. I think again. We won't have got the mailbag for it. I am concerned about this mailbag because, Pyrian, you posted on Instagram a screenshot that you had been inundated with mail
support for squirrel
about
killing.
Squirrel murder. Now,
I am not kidding.
there's only so much squirrel murder I can take. And I know you said to me, Lewis, we could do an entire podcast on squirrel murder.
I didn't. I don't want
You said it in quite an excited tone.
No, I was just joking. I'm not kidding. I have not had a single email saying that I did the wrong thing killing that squirrel. That is no exaggeration.
Really?
So you feel like Donald Trump right now, do you?
They love it. They love it when you kill the squirrels. Kill that rodent. They're an invasive species.
You've been enabled. You've been emboldened.
You've just got yes men. You're in your little bubble. There's no balance. Where's the balance?
Well, the balance is that I was right. I just honestly, I don't know what else to say. I was just correct.
Right. No, absolutely.
That's like an overall balance. Like this one thing you were right on. Like that, it's like an overarching balance, not like a balance to do with just like squirrel murder and the whole culture around.
Look, that's
killing squirrels.
So the story is there was a squirrel that was, if you're just joining us, there was a squirrel that was massively overstepping its bounds about 20 years ago, and this squirrel was coming into P. Flax's house. It was wearing his clothes.
Yeah, it was nibbling on his nuts and everything.
It was like playing on his phone. Can I bum a little doom scroll? That kind of squirrel, right? It was taking advantage. It was out of order, and it had to be dealt with. And now it's sleeping with the fishes, maybe in the pond. It's dead. Pyrian shot it with an arrow.
The squirrel sleeps with the fishes.
So this was something which we felt would be very polarizing, but it turns out that there's no animal lovers out there who listen to this podcast who felt confident enough to challenge Pyrrhon's position. I'm trying to provide balance.
Do you know this whole time you've been talking, you've been like full on robot cutting out everything.
Oh, good.
It's like
That's
2
great
solid
news.
minutes of that.
This is sorry, P-Flex.
Luckily, it's fine on the recording, but it is like trying to talk to someone who's on another planet.
I'm just trying to catch the audience up. Where?
Yep, exactly right.
Do
All right,
you have enough food?
This is a song from Josh May, who has sent in a song.
I'm running out of oxygen. Sorry,
Well,
Josh
quite.
May.
Yes.
We got a song.
All right, here is a song. This is from Josh. This is actually for Lose News, but I thought since it is technically a mailbag entry, we'll play it here. If you guys like it, this could be the new Lose News segment. Now, I don't know if this is copyright. I think it's changed just enough, but it is based on Huey Lewis and the News, and this is Lose News as done by Huey Lewis and the News.
Huey Lewis and Lose News.
Yes, Huey Lewis and Lose News. All right, so we're going to play this in 3, 2, 1, play.
It's like instantly DMCA.
I don't want liars, don't need clues. I just want Lewis really telling me the news.
This is amazing.
Slipping by his side. Come on and sing it loud. That's the power of Lose News. That's the power of Lose News.
I love this. God, I love that so much.
It's incredible.
Josh, good job.
Yeah, really good job. I don't know if it's just different enough.
I don't think it
original.
is. But man, it just reminded me how great Huey Lewis and the News were.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they were a lot of fun. Yeah,
absolute
dude, I feel like
belters.
there were a lot more bands that were popular that weren't just the same thing.
Yeah, I feel like
Does
bands
that-
used
I
to
don't know
get
if that
popular
sentence makes
because
sense.
their music was good rather than how they looked or who they knew or whatever. Like there's like the industry's just, I think, changed a lot, you know?
Yeah.
You look at
I mean,
artists from like the 70s and the 80s, particularly, and those people I don't think would be famous nowadays. You know, they just didn't look.
No, they don't fit the bill.
They weren't
right,
like attractive people. They weren't, but they were so enormously talented, and that's what used to shift all the records and stuff. But now there's a culture shifting all the all the music and the records and stuff.
Dude, look at Celine Dion, right? Who was a huge artist, like massive. She was so popular.
Yeah.
She looked in her early days. She didn't look like she was going to amount to shit.
No.
She looked like a crazy French exchange student. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She really, and a lot of people that were very famous back then, like Huey Lewis and the News, they looked old even when they were young. They didn't look like marketable.
No.
But I just feel like if the song was good, people were like, hey, you know what? This is good.
Oh, look at Barry Manilow.
Right. Yeah. Jeez.
Barry Manilow.
Great singer.
He's
All right,
a great singer,
this is from Joe, who emails in. I don't know if you remember, but a few months ago, you guys talked about that ship that collided with that bridge in Baltimore. Do you remember we talked about this?
We talked about it, yeah. It was big news at the time.
It was big news at the
and
time.
there was people stranded on it, on the boat.
Exactly right. And we complained about them being kept on the ship.
Yeah.
Before someone has sent in some corrections and said, they can't let them off, blah, blah, blah. So there's now been an update that apparently this whole thing was caused by a loose wire.
Right.
Okay. A loose wire. So I looked up the article. This is on the BBC. A loose wire on a cargo ship caused a power outage that may have led to the 2024 deadly collapse of Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge. So it was literally just one loose wire and the whole fucking ship
Well, I mean, if you like a lot of things, you just trace back to like what the root cause in it, and it usually is just something like a loose wire or something, a little fault somewhere, but that's caused like a catastrophic, chain reaction of failure or whatever.
Yeah.
I like there's probably lots of instances of that, but I mean, in this case, they were lucky enough that the boat didn't sink and stuff, so that they could do a full investigation and find out what actually what happened.
That's
in some
true.
cases something just blows to smithereens. It's like, well, you're probably not really gonna in a reasonable amount of time find out exactly what happened, because you're just
True.
you're dealing with like little bits and gubbins and stuff all over the place. You're never
Yeah.
gonna it's a tougher one to solve, like the Challenger, like how I guess they figured it out, but like, man, there was, it blew up like over the ocean. Like how the fuck are you going to solve that problem? Like it seems like impossible.
I'm pretty sure that for those things like NASA and those kind of super advanced things, they have computers that keep track of how everything's working, and loads of telemetry feeding back to ground control.
Yes,
saying this is fucked, and then they'll measure this, and it's like, okay, why did this spike? There's only one reason for, and they know exactly where it went down as well, right? So, but yeah, Lewis, have you rejoined us?
I'm back. Hi guys.
Wow, he's back. He sounds so clear.
I don't know. I've changed over to my phone internet.
He's on his phone. It's probably going to be more reliable.
It's cold, guys. I don't want to go into the office. It's freezing out there.
No, I don't blame you. Well, I mean, it's going to be even tougher for you to go in the office once you've moved, right? Because you're moving.
And everyone talks to me when I go in there and asks me questions.
You're moving far away from the office.
I'm like, use your own initiative, guys. You can manage without me. Sorry, I'm eating a chocolate bar.
He's laying down the groundwork for his transition. Let me tell you,
this guy is the fucking pits.
Yeah.
You are the pits, sir. You turn up to the podcast with shitty internet.
Yeah.
Right? You turn up late because you insisted on making a cup of tea. You won't go into the office that is 5 minutes away because people might speak to you, and now you're eating.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to eat a polo mint and go fuck yourself.
I've not got any news.
Jamming corn nuts.
That guy's done that lovely jingle. I haven't got nothing for him.
Did you listen to it?
Yeah. Finally, it played up for like 10 minutes for some reason. Fuck me.
It's good. All right, this is from Robin.
Lewis Brindley in the news.
This is some email, okay? This is probably the snazziest job we've ever had email in.
Right.
This lad is a classical music composer.
Right.
Wow.
Okay. Fan of the podcast, and I think I have an unusual job. I'm a composer of classical music. I write music that is performed live by orchestras and classical ensemble, not for film or other media, purely for concerts. A lot of the time, my job is just like everyone else's, in that I sit for hours in front of a computer, though there are some ultra-traditional types who write all their music out by hand. Obviously, he's not one of them. Gradually putting pieces together bit by bit. 95% of my working life is that. The exciting 5% comes when there's a performance, travel to meet the orchestra or ensemble somewhere in the UK, attend a rehearsal or two, give feedback on how they play. People often assume that a composer always conducts their own music. That is actually very rarely the case. The two jobs are quite specialized, so every orchestral performance of my music has been with a different conductor. You earn money as a composer through a combination of commission fees, where the orchestra pays you to write a piece for them, prize money from competitions, hiring fees, where the orchestra pays you to hire the sheet music so they can perform your pre-existing piece, and royalties, which work in a similar way to popular music. Happy to answer any questions. You don't need to read out my name, as I don't want it to seem like I'm self-promoting to the thousands of orchestra directors who listen to the Triforce podcast.
Right, yeah, no,
of course.
Good thinking.
Robin Haig.
What is your?
He's got a Wikipedia page. Go on.
Okay, I wonder what his most popular piece is, and it'd be interesting to know how many times it's requested to be played by an orchestra or used, or like the royalty side definitely interests me, because I feel like, you've got you're creating all these arrangements, ensembles and pieces, and people are then, you're promoting them somehow through a network or whatever, and people are finding out about them and they're thinking, yeah, this I would love to perform this, or we would like to use this in a film or whatever.
So I don't believe any of his stuff has been used for movies so far.
Right.
So his Wikipedia page does not say that.
Right.
He has won 2 Ivor Novello awards in the
God.
chamber orchestral category. This guy is the real deal.
That sounds like a
he's an
very
actual,
sounds like a really
award.
cool job. Yeah.
actual classy, successful person listening to our podcast. The rest of you, take note.
Yeah.
Buck up your ideas.
Yeah. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to raise the bar.
This guy's messing up the median.
Well.
Let's get rid of this guy. Then everyone else can be hopeless.
We want to elevate the Triforce to
Robin
another
Haig,
level.
stop listening to the podcast. You're banned.
No, Robin, you are not banned. You're the
not.
opposite of banned. You're promoted to head listener.
We need more people like you. Do you have any colleagues that want to listen to the podcast as well, so that we can start?
Hang on a second. If this guy's such a prestigious composer, where's his little music that he's supposed to send in, huh?
Yeah, Robin, that's true. Actually, Robin,
Why haven't you
Send
sent
us
in a little
in.
30-second stupid,
Send us in.
hilarious,
That's
dumb
good
clip
point.
thing?
Good point. We want to hear compose. We're not going to pay you, and I don't care if you're busy.
You're such
Compose
a
us
good
a-
composer. Where's your classical Triforce
Yeah,
introduction?
why don't you fucking send that.
Oh,
in,
do you know what? I bet you I know where it is. We'd probably have to pay him like £1,000.
Oh, yeah, fuck
for it.
that.
He won't. He
Oh,
won't
he's
work
got
free.
plenty of
Sorry,
time.
Robin.
30 seconds.
I take it back.
It's not going to win
I
an
take it back.
Ivor Nobello award, is it? Just fucking send in 30-second jingle.
Yeah, but
Uh,
he can't do some. He can't do some things. It'll make him. He's got to keep his reputation like award winning.
This
Every
is
piece
reputable.
he does.
This is reputable.
This is award winning
No,
as
but-
well. We won an award, didn't we?
What did we win?
I don't know. It sounded
Do you know
so
what, like-
good when I was saying it, but
We don't even need 30 seconds. Give us like one toot. Give us like a toot
Yeah,
on
just
a
a
horn,
honk. One honk.
and that'll be plenty. Because if you do it, it's an award winning honk.
Exactly.
Happy with that.
did
do
you
that.
do the were you the composer of the strings bit for 50 cents into club? The boom boom maybe that was him. Boom, boom. No. I was just wondering.
I don't know if he
He
was
said
born
if you
then.
have any questions, that's a fair question.
He was 10 years old when that song came out.
Was he?
It's impressive.
How do you know how old he was?
Because
he's
he says
on
how old he is in the
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia page.
Oh,
30.
how old is he?
30-ish, early 30.
God, he's so accomplished already.
I know.
It makes me feel like fucking shit.
We've had an email. Hello, I am former president of Syria, Bashar al-Assad. I understand you have question about my video games on the internet. I mostly play Kebab Chefs and Battle Watch Simulator 2. I will answer no further questions. That's an email from Syrian former President Bashar al-Assad. Thank you.
See, he's in hiding.
Yeah, he's in hiding.
somewhere. isn't he?
Apparently, he's probably in Russia somewhere. He's probably just gaming a lot. He doesn't have anything else to
That's
do.
apparent. So we spoke about this previously. Apparently, we were talking about
Yeah.
that, which is, I think, the origin for this email. So yes, I believe he is. He's just
Yeah,
gaming.
which
What else does
honestly,
he
I
have
think
to
he's
do?
probably a lot happier. You know,
Probably,
I mean,
he's
yeah,
probably
it's just-
already completed the Battlefield 6 battle pass.
I think we should send more awful dictator war criminals into hiding to play video games.
I think
personally.
it would be fun if they ended up in low priority Dota queue.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. If
Either
bumped
that or
into-
just hang them. I don't mind either. Be cool too.
This is from JT. Greetings, Triforce. In episode 337, God almighty, you discussed computers past and present. I used to work in a museum of computing.
Right.
Empyrean's remarks that the IBM 7030 was the size of the sideboard in your granny's house reminded me of a story I thought I'd share. Neiman Marcus department stores once offered a machine called the kitchen computer, which could store recipes, plan meals, and help control family finances. So far, so iPad, except for the fact that this was advertised in 1969. The computer was a
Wow. Nice.
lightly modified Honeywell 316 pedestal, weighing 45 kilograms and cost $10,000, complete with a
Jesus
2-week programming
Christ.
course. Advertising for the machine began with the slogan, "If only she can cook as well as Honeywell can compute." On the plus side, the program storage being in a premium, I bet you didn't have to scroll past the chef's endless musings on a dish to get to the recipes. God bless. I
God,
hate
This
that
is
much.
so funny. The 2-week programming course that it comes with. This thing, I'm looking at pictures of it. It looks like something out of Star Trek.
A 2-week
Yeah,
or
programming,
one of these.
a 2-week programming course that comes with it. That's insane.
Well, again, here's the thing about this computer. It's literally like 25 light switches on a board. It looks like a cockpit or something. It's
Is there
insane.
no
Like,
screen?
it's no screen. It's absolutely nonsense.
Oh my God, look at
It
that.
looks like a piano, except instead of keys, there's a load of light switches. I am complaining daily to Bree because I have to figure out how to use some menus in Unity that someone's made, right? I'm not even having to do any code. The thing about, so I'm making this game, terrible. I haven't made any progress. Me and Bree are having a disaster of a time. It's quite fun though. It's going to be years before I ever have anything to show for it at this rate. But
Man, you should pivot
basically-
and start working on Dude Sim Alaska instead. And then at
I
least it'll be
think-
underway,
I think Bree is obviously doing the coding, but he has spent more time like wrestling with other people's UIs. So what someone will do is they'll make like a module. It'll be like, this is how you make your terrain in Unity. But they'll build their own unique user interface in Unity for you to use with drop downs and menus and things. And like, it's so I'm not having to code, but it's not any easier, and I'm having to learn this new stupid system every week. It's driving me up the wall. But could you imagine housewives in 1969 going on a 2-week programming course to learn how to use the light switches
Insane.
on this?
I finally
computer
mastered the programming.
to do what?
We're having spaghetti every night until the day that we die.
To do what? I mean, what's going to be in there? It's mental.
So
It's mental.
there is a small screen. I've just looked at the picture of it, and there's a video of it. Oh, it doesn't work anymore. They didn't sell a single one of these things.
I'm not
Understandably,
surprised.
but I
Computer,
didn't
make
realize
me a
it-
steak. Are you sure you want spaghetti again tonight? I want a steak.
making spaghetti food.
I have been pre-programmed to make spaghetti only.
Oh my goodness! But it's
like
got a
HAL
built-in
9000.
chopping board, which is hilarious.
That
As if
is
you're going to
good,
do
yeah.
your food preparation
A lot of like
on
old,
your computer.
old computer shit was always like roughly Jetsons themed, wasn't it? Like
Very
there was
much,
always
yeah.
there was always like this like sort of like Jetsons vibe to the whole thing. Like
Hal, please give me a recipe for cooking a
Can we
steak.
talk
I
on
can't
this
do that,
about?
Dave. It's spaghetti all day, every day.
It's spaghetti
all the way
Monday.
down.
Okay, but
Please,
what's
Hal.
Tuesday? Spaghetti Tuesday.
We don't want
Dave.
spaghetti, Hal. I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave. It's spaghetti again on Tuesday
Exactly.
and
Thank you.
Wednesdays. I hope you like spaghetti, Dave.
Spaghetti
Hal,
Thursday's
set
coming right up.
self-destruct. I can't set self-destruct, but I can deliver a delicious plate of spaghetti.
Oh man,
but yeah, how about
this
that?
is making me want to eat a plate of spaghetti.
I'm fucking starving right now.
God, jeez, I ate so much spaghetti the other night, and like nobody wanted garlic bread, so I
What?
ended up eating all the garlic bread as well.
That is such a dad move.
Fuck, I was
of
so
eating everyone
full,
else's
like
food.
it was like bursting. I was just like,
But you can't possibly not do it. It's
I
such
sounded
a
like a
waste.
creaking old ship. Like I was like like the hull integrity was affected.
Like the Obra Dinn. The
Yes,
ship in the
You've
That
got
was
like
my
a steel
stomach.
band round your waist.
Absolutely, yeah. It was just
and
about
it's
to
like
burst. Yeah.
So
I
the
did.
ma-
I did fried chicken last night. Sorry, Lulu. Go ahead.
Christ. No, it's
it
right.
was,
You go.
It was my youngest's birthday. She was 14 yesterday, so I want to give her my shout out, which I don't do shout outs very often.
Big up.
Shout
You
out
should.
for
It's
a big
making
up.
it to 14.
Happy birthday.
That can be
And,
this week's big up. I'm okay
yeah.
with that, I guess.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. But
She's never gonna
her
hear it,
favorite
so
is
it's
when
fine.
I do fried chicken.
Nice.
So I do it with wings, I do it with drumsticks, and I do it with like fillets. And everybody just likes the fillets, so they're basically just like chicken tenders. So I just do that, and there's a real art to it, to getting it all just right. I'm improving every time. But I want to do the Korean style, and I want to
Fried
that's
chicken.
the double fry, yeah, the Korean style fried chicken.
Korean
And
fried
there's-
chicken, KFC.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, indeed. But no, that would yeah. But either way, I just want to say that
I just want to say,
yeah, that I ate a hell of a lot of chicken. I'm still suffering.
Both
today,
of you are
definitely.
like bloated after yesterday.
Yeah.
Sounds like that's great. Well
Yeah.
done.
No, my spaghetti fiasco was like a couple of nights ago. I've recovered since.
It's true. I was the same. I went out for dinner last night because it was the finale of the Yog Labs series that we
Wait,
made,
you
and
guys
it was a
actually
lot of
went out
work
for dinner
everyone.
to like celebrate that?
Well, we
that's-
watched the finale in the office together.
Oh
It was
my
premiered,
god!
And we had a drink in the office. Everyone involved on the project came in, which was really, really nice.
Did you guys do that thing where like somebody falls backwards and they trust you to catch them and stuff? Were you doing?
in the Yogg's office. I wouldn't fucking trust anyone to catch me in the Yogg's.
I wouldn't trust them either. They're
Actually,
not very
I would
strong.
trust Dav.
Dav
he'd have my back.
Dav's a pretty strong guy. Yeah.
No, more. I would
Look,
just trust him. I wouldn't trust
we
any of the
we
rest
don't
of them.
like physical contact. We're that kind of people, so
Right.
we're not going to be
Too many
touching other people,
nerds.
Right.
catching them. Yeah. It's we had a nice time. Then we watched the outtakes. So it was obviously everyone who was involved in the series. It was Tom Hazel and me and Harry and Nick and everyone, and a few other people came along. And then Sparkles was there as well. And we went out for a dinner, little dinner. And we were going to go to Pho, but we ended up going to have a curry instead because it was just packed in there. We didn't book or anything, because it was kind of random. And both of us were with our partners who had said that they could eat, and then there was way too much food left over, and I was like, I can't let all this go to waste.
This seems like such
So
a
I was
waste. I better
actually-
shovel it all into my
I was
into my
actually
pie
so-
hole
It's the right
immediately.
thing to do. It's the right
I feel
and
so
moral
bad
thing to
wasting
do.
all this food.
Can't waste
So
this
I-
food. Better stuff it in my fucking face.
To get right down my cake hole.
on robot food processors, have you ever heard of the Magimix? Because everyone seems to
I've got
swear
a
by it every
Magimix.
now and then. It's like 500 quid of
It's not 500
overpriced
quid.
blender.
It's a very
But
good
apparently everyone's like, the Magimix will make the rest of your kitchen redundant.
That's how I talk when I speak
They
about
got
it.
a mouthful of marbles when they're talking about it. The Magimix could not break down the marbles in my mouth. Fucking 20 marbles in my mouth.
Oh.
So it's got like, I don't know, it's got this like 30-year warranty or whatever that it's going to last you for a lifetime. And it's like, it's supposed to chop and cook and do fucking everything. And I don't understand. Can you explain to me why I would spend 500 quid on a Magimix?
Well, first of all, it's got a really cool
Allow
name.
my attorney to answer for me.
Objection. It's got a really cool name, which probably makes you feel really good about using it. And I mean, okay, just imagine when you're next time you use it, if you have the opportunity or the pleasure, I should say, of using one.
Objection, a little too saucy for this.
Imagine how difficult it would be to do what you're doing with the Magimix without the Magimix.
Mhm.
Imagine having to
Oh.
imagine having to blend all that up with like your hands or your teeth or something. And then think about how lucky you are to own a Magimix and the convenience and how easy it's making your life.
We do have a Magimix, and we've had it for fucking years,
Right.
and it's a tank. It really does last well. You can easily get spare parts for it. The power of it is, in my opinion, it's not just a blender. It's first of all, it's a very big bowl that you get, so you can really cut quite big things, get a decent volume in there. It's not like a little blender or like one of those NutriBullet things. It's a proper food processor.
Like
It's a
how much
processor, not just
how
a
much
blender.
guac can you make in that thing?
Oh, so much guac.
Oh,
You could
okay.
fit so much guac in this bad
That's-
boy, okay?
That's all I needed to hear.
But let me tell you something. If you want to finely slice any kind of vegetables, do anything like that, it's got all these different attachments so that you can have like those really perfectly sliced, ultra thin potatoes if you wanted to make, any kind of gratin, right? You wanted to make some actual crisps of your own, you could do that. You can slice them that thinly. It's excellent. And it'll grate stuff for you. It'll absolutely pulverize stuff for you to, if you wanted to make like a sofrito or something like that. I use it. I love it. It's excellent. It even has a dough kneading attachment, so it'll knead dough for you. It's very good. They're very, very good. And they're very reliable and they're very cool.
Well, I personally don't need a Magimix. Okay. Because
That's a good
I
one.
don't cook, so there you go.
I like cutting my own fingers instead. Ooh, I like spending ages peeling carrots.
Spaghetti
Ooh.
again, please, Hal.
I like buying pre-chopped ones from Waitrose.
Like a little gremlin, a little spaghetti gremlin. Where's my spaghetti? I need to
Where's my spaghetti? Oh, God. He's back out. He's come out from behind the cupboard. Where's my spaghetti? Get him his fucking spaghetti. And some garlic bread this time. Oh, Christ.
Oh man! Oh, the visuals of the spaghetti goblin.
Yeah, you can eat that. He just comes out. Oh, you Peter with rest of me spaghetti. There we go.
Oh, there's way too much here to waste. I better eat it all.
Better eat it all. All right. This is Matthias asks a question. He says, from what he's heard, English and British people tend to distinguish themselves from Europeans. For me, as a European from Denmark, I find it a bit confusing, as I would consider the UK very much a part of Europe, both geographically and culturally.
Yeah.
Do you and the others think that there is a fundamental difference between the people from your island and the mainland, or do you think it's just a historic relic that has lived on? Interesting question, Matthias. I think about this quite often. In a post-Brexit world, it feels like it's easy to say that English people and British people really don't see themselves as part of Europe, because obviously that's apparently what a narrow majority of people voted for. But that was like an economic thing, you would hope. But in terms of culturally, I don't think that British people do consider themselves European. We see Europeans as this weird other entity that are far more similar than we are to them, I think. I don't agree with that, but I think that's how people see it.
Yeah.
I think, culturally, I feel much more linked to other English-speaking countries than I do any European countries. I think
Australia, I would say, New Zealand.
Even though, America is so different to us, I feel like because of our shared language and our shared content, it's much easier to feel aware of what's going on. We get I think culturally we are so aware of American news and American what's going on, more so than we are about our own in many cases. And maybe that's just because we're on this internet generation. But certainly, I don't even really know who's in charge of France or Germany, let alone the smaller European countries.
It's Emmanuel Macron, and what's the German's guy's name? He's I think he's not. They're not far.
Joseph Goebbels, it is I, back once again, like a renegade master.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Lewis. Like some.
I love you Germans, but I've just got to chuck a Goebbels in there. You guys earned that. I apologize. I'm going to have to make references to the war. That's part of our duty.
Yeah.
As British people, and we just have to. Every time Germany comes up, you do a funny accent. You mention the war. That's it.
They
love it.
It's been the staple of British comedy for decades now.
Yeah, so I'd say since about 1945.
Yeah.
It's just, I think, it's tricky, right? And I think that we don't. Certainly, I think when you ask British people, whether they identify as what they identify as like first. So there's interesting like maps you can see of this where people are asked, are they British or are they like English or are they European? And different places say differently around Europe as well. So people in Brussels quite often say they're European rather than Belgian or something like this because it's such a seen as a center of Europe. I think people feel very connected to it. Whereas I think someone, certainly in certain different areas of Wales, people will say they're Welsh before British or, it is about, I think it's about your area as well, and language too. I think in these largely bigger Welsh-speaking areas, they feel more attached. I just think language is such a powerful part of it. I think hopefully the internet, has given us such good, powerful translation tools. It feels like we should be Babelfish level, and maybe that will lead to a change in politics when suddenly everyone can like talk to each other freely and content can be overlapping. But I think, they certainly feel like French and Germans, as close as we are to them here in England or in Britain, we don't watch any of their TV. Sometimes we do, but we're certainly, I don't know. I can't think of the last time I watched anything that was subtitled
Eurotrash.
That was in French or German. Do you know what I mean?
Eurotrash, which for anyone that is under 35, was a TV show we've spoken about before.
That on the off chance of there being a bare breast.
Yeah, tits.
Yeah,
There
was
literally
lots, yeah.
Much like The Word with Danny Bear and that other lad. I just wanted to see Norks, basically.
But no, I mean, I think that's, in a sense, like that's a problem, right? I feel like I watch a lot more Korean and or Japanese subtitled things, and so in a sense, I feel more like their culture is more influencing. I guess we did play Expedition 33 this year, which I thought was really, really great, and has won all the Indie Games Awards.
No, it's a French studio that made that, wasn't it?
And that was very, very, very good. And it had little French names, little French little things. It wasn't obviously in French, and the voice actors were all mostly Americans, but it was great.
Right.
So I see what you're saying, though. I feel I feel like I prefer Europe to America, but I feel like I know America more than Europe.
I really do. I've traveled all over Europe, and I'd say if you compare the culture of, say, Portugal and what it's like in Portugal or southern Spain with what it's like in Sweden, or if you compare even Sweden with Denmark, or you compare Italy with Germany, it's kind of silly to say that we are so different and they're all the same. Of course it's not true. Those countries are all as different as we are from them and they are from each other. We're all very different. We do have a obviously ridiculous amount of history together, both good and bad. And I do think, obviously, geographically, we're Europe. That's all there is to it. But I think because of that little body of water, the English Channel, there has always been a distinct separation from Europe and England. And if you go back to when Henry VIII told the Pope that he was he could fuck off and that he was going to set up his own church. That was a huge schism because everyone else in Europe was Catholic at that point. It's like extremely, divisive moment there. We fought wars against pretty much everyone on the continent forever. And we've been allies with a bunch of them forever. So it's a weird one. I can see why a lot of British people see themselves as distinctly not European. I think Lewis is right. The language plays a huge part in that.
Yeah.
And we are more drawn to, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, North America in general, really, because it just feels like those are our people, and we relate to them more. We're culturally more similar. Partly, of course, because they're related to us.
Yeah.
And those places
they're all
exist
former
because
colonies.
we took a language over there, and then we have an affinity with them. But and let's move on to the next email. This is from Sam. Recently watched Mad Max Fury Road and then Waterworld with Kevin Costner.
Right.
And realized that they are basically identical movies, plot-wise, but essentially the opposite in their setting. A desert versus water.
Yeah.
Searching for a promised land. Crazy people on gas-powered vehicles, etc. As a topic of discussion, I was wondering if you guys could think of any other movies that are set in opposite settings but identical plots.
Oh, that's a good
great
question. Yeah. Well, wasn't Star Wars based on like an old feudal Japanese story or something like that, where it's like that? I think the stories are like functionally similar, but the settings are completely and utterly different.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think what is it? It's the Seven Samurai?
I don't think it was Seven Samurai.
No, but it's something similar to that, I think.
But exactly, that is
was
a
it
movie.
Rashomon? I can't remember.
Well, it's like a vulnerable community. Don't they recruit like this samurais to like protect them, like a town? And that I think, obviously, yeah, the original's worth. I think it's Magnificent Seven and Seven Samurai.
Really?
The original two from back in the day, right? Something like that. But I feel like what I'm trying to get at is I feel like this has happened a lot, that there are identical, because a lot of movies follow a very
The Hidden Fortress. Akira Kurosawa's The Hidden Fortress.
Right.
Is what it was based on, because it's about a bunch of lads having to go and blow up this hidden fortress because it's like too much of a threat. So basically, like
the Death
having to blow
Star.
up the Death Star.
So the Magnificent Seven was a Western that was a remake of Seven Samurai.
Yes.
About 7 gunslingers hired to protect a Mexican village from
yeah.
bandits.
Yeah.
And the Samurai one was obviously that. But I think that's happened again in like things like Bug's Life.
Yeah, and the Three Amigos as well.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of things that do that, right? And again, I think, what was it, Avatar, that was Dances with Wolves?
Oh, probably.
They were the same movie, right? Where they had
Dances with Wolves was fantastic.
A corporate guy, or like a guy who's part of the culture.
But that's a very old trope. No, that's a very old trope. He was. But that's like the white savior story has been around since forever.
Yeah,
right?
it's like the redemption arc.
Yeah. So I think in terms of thematically, you could have films that are similar, and that's, there are only 7 different kinds of story. Like obviously, the going to help helpless villagers from a more powerful foe. A ton of films have done that. But I think the similarities between Mad Max and Waterworld are so similar. Like even the direct plot is almost identical. I would like to know.
Mean Girls.
Yeah.
And Planet of the Apes, the original. Here's the plot.
Give it to me.
An outsider enters a rigid social hierarchy, rises within it, then turns against its rules.
Okay, all right, I like that.
Here's the next one. The Revenant versus Cast Away. A man survives alone in the wilderness to reunite with civilization and purpose. So yeah, obviously Cast Away's on the tropical island, isn't it? And the Revenant is in the frozen
north
frontier.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure about that one, but yeah.
The Little Mermaid and Romeo and Juliet, lovers from feuding or forbidden worlds struggle to be together.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Die Hard versus Home Alone.
Okay.
A lone protagonist must defend a building against intruders using improvised traps.
Yep. Excellent.
Kevin McAllister's suburban home in Nakatomi Plaza.
Finally, Nosferatu versus E.T. A strange being.
Motherfucker. That was a cut from the Christmas release. Go on.
Kevin.
Keep the
A strange
change a
being,
filthy animal.
Nosferatu versus ET. A strange being arrives in a small community, bonds with the lonely human, then causes panic. Let's see. That's
good. Yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting. I love the idea that two wildly different settings for basically the same story.
I mean, the setting. I don't think the setting in Mad Max and Waterworld is that dissimilar, though. I think Waterworld and Mad Max could exist in the same dimension, in the same reality or whatever, but are just geographically different, right?
I see what you mean.
Mad Max might take place on an area of high land that has just become desert because like the world has changed so much and flooded and ended. And Waterworld has elements of that in it because they do find a bit of land that everybody is looking for that it just happens to be like the peak of a mountain because the rest of the world
I believe
flooded.
It's Everest. I believe it must be Everest.
Something like that. Yeah. So
which is
so I don't think they're
it's very
vastly
silly.
different movies. I know what you mean, but I think they could exist in the same universe.
So you think that even though the whole point of Waterworld is that the ice caps melt and science, let's put the science to one side, it wouldn't happen this way. It's now thousands of feet of water cover the entire planet.
Yeah.
You think that it's conceivable you could also fit the entire world of Mad Max on the other side of the planet, and people just hadn't noticed.
Yeah, those wily Australians were the first to get to whatever highland was left, and they picked it clean, and it became.
I see.
It became
Yeah,
a
no,
desert.
At the edge of Australia is now a huge wall that stops the water coming in.
Yeah,
how about
there
that?
you go. Yeah.
Sorry, let me find another one. I've got so many. God, I was trying to find a squirrel email, one that would be like a summary of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's so many people agreeing with me. I had so many squirrel emails. I can't find it.
No, I'm trying to find one that's at least interesting because they're all like, yes, you're correct. I grew up in a rural area. This is a thing that happens all the time. Yeah. So here it is. This is from Tim. You guys talking about flying cars, don't know when this happened, made me think of my old boss and his bonkers plans.
Well, flying cars, we've had the conversation before. Flying cars was promised when we were growing up. Right. Oh, the year 2000 will be in flying cars and all the other cool things that the future had in store for us. And now it's mostly just videos of Will Smith eating spaghetti instead of the flying cars.
Exactly. Well, this guy's boss came up with this.
I'm trying to think of. Sorry, I was just thinking of Will Smith coming out from behind the cupboard. You eat that?
That's it. He's the spaghetti goblin.
You gonna finish that? Sorry. Don't you hate it when you make enough for like a leftover portion and you just put it to one side? And then you come back to the kitchen after finishing your meal and you notice it there and you have a little bite of it. And then you realize there's too little left to have like a leftover portion because it wouldn't be, and so then you just have to eat the rest of it.
If we have if we have, whatever for dinner, but there's the promise of, like an apple pie or maybe like, it's been Halloween, so there's chocolate or whatever. If there's any even like hint of a promise that there's going to be something following dinner, and when I'm clearing plates, they're full of food, like not touched. It's just like five plates basically. Well, no, I'd say five. It's three. My three kids' food plates come back full of food because they're just like, I'm not fucking eating this. I'm having pie or whatever's coming next. Like that's what I'm eating. So, but that's what happened the other night with the spaghetti incident.
Yeah, I was walking home the other night and it wasn't a warm night. It was like, 3 degrees. And I walked past Scoop and this was like 5:30 and it's the ice cream shop. And I was just like, I really fancy some ice cream. So I went in and I fucking ordered like 3 scoops of ice cream. And I got home and my partner was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm cooking dinner and I'm there like with all this fucking ice cream. And I thought, can I put this in the freezer? And I was like, nah, I'm a grown man. I could just eat this.
Did you have a sore stomach after that for like 3 days?
So basically, she's breaking up with me.
Right. Yeah.
Long story short, and I'm fucking crushed. But at least I had ice cream. So
good for her.
Yeah.
Good for
I've
her.
decided to marry Scooperella, the mascot for Scoop, instead. We're getting hitched.
If I'd fucking left it on the side, the fucking Will Smith would have come out and had it. So
He only eats spaghetti, as we
He
know.
only-
So Tim had a boss who was obsessed with flying cars, and he had a business idea. He wanted Tim to create a sort of navigation system that would divide the airspace into lanes that flying cars could use. I say sort of navigation because whenever I asked him about this, he would just say the important part was dividing the airspace into vertical slices and the navigation didn't matter. I ended up not really knowing what it was I was supposed to do. Essentially, create a Google Maps-like website where you could draw layers. He was adamant that he could sell this product to the Saudis and make billions of dollars. He thought that by us acting first, everyone would be forced to use our system no matter how shit it was. I'm a weak-willed programmer and he was driving me regularly, so I didn't exactly say I'd work on it or not. Eventually, I moved to another company. I've attached one of his specs. So these are the specs for this guy's flying car
Holy shit.
vertical system. This is
We're
a PDF.
rich.
I've already looked at this because I honestly couldn't believe that this was a thing. But yeah.
Oh my fucking God. Okay, so the first
this
page
business plan
says
is shit.
business plan confidential.
Right.
And then it's got 3 pictures of flying cars that from Google, I assume.
Right.
Now, sometimes you meet people, and I this one of my friend's dads was like this. One time he told me he'd invented a warp engine. No, deadly straight on his face. He's figured out a warp engine, and he's gonna have a go at building it in his garage. Right. Like actually has. I don't think he has a brain tumor or something. But that's what my immediate thought was. I was almost like, is this a joke? No, you're deadly serious. So I think sometimes people just get it in their head that they can do this.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So this is a 100-page PDF?
No. It's not that long. It's like 20 pages.
It is
20,
really,
but-
really
oh.
not. It doesn't go into any great detail on any.
Sorry,
plan.
no. I scrolled down to pages 2 and 3 are like the contents. So I thought it was going to be proportionally large, but no, a lot of these contents point to the same page.
Yeah. I mean, another thing is, I'll be honest with you. Having read this, I read it this morning. I browsed it at least. Quite a few spelling and grammatical errors. And he talks about how he's concerned that without such a system in place as his system, that the reality of flying cars will be chaos, akin to the Wild West of America in the 1700s, but in the skies above us. So his times are way off. That was not the era of the Wild West, the 1700s. And the problem with the Wild West was not that they didn't have designated traffic lanes for horses. That was just a lack of governance and a sort of wild land. So I don't understand why he's bringing up the Wild West. And I also don't know why 2 lads can just knock up this system that apparently the entire world will use and that the Saudis will buy for billions. Just imagine that this is just absolute bullshit. Just imagine browsing a business spec that is just absolute cobblers. Why us is one of the topics. The question is, why us? Why would we attempt to do this when none of us are a pilot or have any real knowledge on such topics? This is part of the business proposal. Firstly, this is all a new field. Someone has to establish the rules. This leaves it open to free thinking, which is what I've done. At some time in the future, maybe because of this system, rules will exist. Right now, they don't. Secondly, we're building software. That I know we can do. We have the ability to design and build software platforms. And if we look at what is required to create the VLS platform, I believe we can do it. Just gibberish. Just absolute gibberish. Yeah. We're there. We're going to be first. Why not us? Why not you, mate? Because you haven't got billions of dollars. You're going to have to hope that someone funds this ridiculous system.
Yeah.
And someone will do it much better. What is happening? This is what happens when people just get a little bit of a taste of success and they think all their ideas must be good.
Yeah, it's weird. Our society does create people like this, and quite a few of them actually. And it is crazy to me that
I think this is a combination of delusion and scam. So basically,
it is
what he's
definitely
doing
rooted in some form of grift.
He's like, guys, I've had this great idea, flying cars. Yeah. Now I know you guys are professionals, you're engineers. I don't know shit about it, but I've had the idea. So
this guy thinks he'll bullshit his way into
and
billions.
If you guys, I'm the ideas guy. I put together this proposal. If you look at the section where it's fucking hell, he's put a section of competition right down the bottom. It's literally a whole page screen grab of a Google search for flying vehicles. Right. That's his research. Yeah. Right. He's Googled it. He's typed in flying vehicles, copy pasted that. That is his research.
But in his
right?
mind,
This
he's
thing
got a 20-page document, even though the 20-page
Exactly,
document
in
has
his
nothing
mind,
of substance in it. He's like, oh,
But if he can knock out
I'm so
one of
close.
these proposals every, 5 minutes, send them off to thousands of people, and say, I came up with the idea. It's my idea. I wrote this document. Look, showing the idea of the thing that you came up with. He can maybe ambulance chase or scam down some company, right? Imagine you're an actual professional company developing something that's not as ludicrous as flying cars, maybe something more realistic. He puts together this kind of fairly shitty proposal and sends it off. And then it's something they're either already working on or, maybe they develop later on. He can say, well, it was my idea, so I'm eligible for 50%, and he can sue them. And he can say, look, I sent you this. There's a lot of this kind of stuff going on there's a lot of cunts out there. So you have to be careful because this isn't just a delusional idiot.
Yeah.
This could be like a genuine ambulance chasing psychopath. Who is it's very strange.
What I do think says, if he had an actual system, then he would have a point, but he doesn't. He's just talking about dividing space into vertical lanes. That's not original.
Look, in today's world, it's very difficult for an individual to come up with a groundbreaking invention. Okay, a lot of things rely on other technology, especially with vehicles or certainly with like chips. They can't be made by a single guy in a garage.
No, but
right? You can't.
The
have
hourglass
this.
Pickle jar can be, and man, I wish I was the guy who came up with that. God, I wish I had.
It's very
rights to that
difficult
one.
for people to come up with this type of invention. Like if you're inventing a new fucking coat hanger, great. Do you know what I mean? But like, it's not. The world we live in does not allow this kind of innovation. We've moved. You can't do chemistry in your basement anymore. It needs. You need access to wind tunnels and things like this if you're going to do this thing. It's not feasible, right? And it's out of reach. And so corporations control this kind of thing, and innovation happens in a team, and it has done for a long time in most things. I think you'd be hard pressed to name something in the last century that's been invented by or developed by a single person. Even if oftentimes single people do wish to take credit for it. I think that's why the Nobel Prize is in a sense quite flawed, because oftentimes, it's not on a single, especially for science, it's a team effort almost all the time. But it wants to acknowledge it's from an era when individuals had large
the gentleman
impact, right?
scientist.
Yes,
I have devised
I've invented
the hot air balloon.
penicillin.
It's like I just did it in my spare time in my lab.
I have a chemistry set at home, and I'm quite knowledgeable and very
I was
posh
bored
as
one
well.
evening and have come up with a cure for TB. Quite incredible.
It's simply fascinating.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. This is Nick from Oregon, listening to Mailbag 64. This free harvest festival that you wanted, Sid.
Yes.
It's called a potluck.
No.
And you have to bring something
no.
in order to get something, you freeloader. That's not me saying that.
No, I don't want to do a potluck. I want a state-sponsored harvest jamboree. Nobody wants to
with
do
free hot chocolate for all.
Yes.
I believe
You're
is
not
what
going
you
to back
said.
down on
not?
this. It's
fucking
do you know
hell.
what I really
just give
and Will
the
Smith is
people a
coming
little bit of
along.
hot chocolate or something. I mean, come on.
Well,
Yeah,
tough shit. You got to bring something. What are you going to bring?
I'm not going to a fucking potluck, okay? I'm only interested
Why?
if I can
feel like,
freeload, as it was stated. I only want to freeload.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, this
my
is
God.
one you guys can read about this in your own time, listeners, if you want, because it's quite an interesting story. It's a little too long to get into just on the mailbag, but I thought I'd set I'd light the touch paper here on this little story. It's an insane story about a real corpse that was mistaken for a wax prop and was used. It basically did for decades. It was traveling around America doing various things before they finally figured out it was a real body.
Jesus.
Okay, so
Whoa.
This guy is called Elmer McMurdy. McCurdy. So if you just like Elmer Fudd, and then McCurdy, Curdy, he was an American outlaw who was shot and killed in 1911 after robbing a train in Oklahoma.
Elmer McCurdy.
And he was then dubbed the bandit who wouldn't give up. And his mummified body was sort of put on display at an Oklahoma funeral home, and then became a fixture on the traveling carnival and sideshow circus through the 20s and all the way up to the 60s.
Whoa.
After changing hands several times, because it's not possible under US law to own a human cadaver, McCurdy's remains eventually wound up at the Pike Amusement Zone in Long Beach, California. And they were filming an episode of The $6 Million Man there, and one of the crew members knocked the waxwork, an arm fell off, and they saw like sinew and bone and everything in there, realized, oh shit, this isn't a waxwork, this is a real body. And then the story comes to an end as they actually fucking bury the poor guy.
Holy crap.
Holy shit.
It's such a crazy story. The Wikipedia article is very long. It's too much for me to read here, but go ahead and look it up. They honestly, people just thought it was a waxwork. It was just a preserved dead body just walking around with this guy. There's a picture of him, this body in the coffin, the bandit that would not die. It's quite an interesting story. Wouldn't give up. Sorry.
That is fascinating. Well done on the preservative. Apparently, it was an arsenic-based preservative, so it was something that wasn't typically used afterwards because it's so toxic, I imagine.
Yeah.
But it was so effective that it obviously people just didn't notice. Do you know what that story is?
He was unclaimed. So the Undertaker decided to dress him up and use him to make money as an exhibit. That's how the commercialization of Elmer started.
Of course.
It's so fascinating. That is so fascinating. But I can imagine what happened was, they have this back lot with all these old things in it. I mean, he's just one of them. Because we've got these big Fallout Vault boys in the office. People constantly bump into them and knock them and bash the arm off and constantly dropping its head to the floor. It's going to look like it's from the fucking video game soon because it's so beaten up. But that's exactly what I can imagine. Some clumsy cameraman needed to get into a shot, shoved their way round and knocked his arm off. I could in my head exactly see that
fucking
occurring.
Hell, 1928.
It's very ironic that it happened during it's $6 Million Man about the bionic man who
they rebuild him. They spent $6 million rebuilding.
So he's like but there's
I think it's Lee Majors.
No, but what I'm saying is that it's a bit weird that his arm got knocked off when it's a show about a guy who's got fake bionic bits.
Yes.
Right?
This is insane. Listen to this. McCurdy's corpse in his was used in a traveling museum of crime, which featured wax replicas of famous outlaws such as Bill Doolin and Jesse James. So it's like just a traveling wax. Like you just go city to city. You turn up with your traveling museum of crime, and it's got all these wax figures of. That's insane. I mean,
I think a lot of that sort of traveling show stuff. Obviously, in the days of the Wild West, there was a lot of traveling around. People would go from town to town, trying to make a name for themselves, trying to figure out, what they were going to do, making money any way they could. But the interesting thing is then when you have the Great Depression, 1930s to 1960s, that sort of traveling sort of hobo culture, that carnival culture was such a big part of America. It feels like, I don't know if it was, but it certainly feels like that's when I think of that era, the 30s and stuff, I think of that weird carnival traveling crime show, like such an odd
such
thing.
a weird thing. Imagine like getting excited about that too, like what's coming to town.
Ma, let's go see the traveling crime show.
The traveling crime show is going to be in town next week.
Really? I want to see that McCurdy waxwork. What? Do you? God, I mean, this was 100 years ago, this kind of stuff. So I guess people were just bored out of their
They must have been so fucking bored. Like anything like
no
this.
Telly. No telly. Most people didn't even have recorded music that they could play at home. You just had to fucking go and see shit.
Yeah, you just had to like
I think it just goes to show as well
wall.
how trusting people are of what someone will say to them. It's like the provenance of something. They just won't question it. It's like, oh, is this the real deal? Yeah, of course it is. Waxwork. All right, cool. There's never any doubt in anyone's mind along that road, right? Especially it's like, oh, we've had this for 40 years. It's clearly look at him. But I imagine it was in pretty shitty state, so it's probably in the back. Sort of lot, at that point. Oh god, amazing. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
letter.
that's really interesting. That is.
But yeah,
Bruce
honestly,
that,
so
right.
if
Great.
if you want to hear more, it's too much for us to get into. It's quite a long story, and there's lots of articles and that and sort of quite long articles about it. So if you want to read more about it, go ahead and look up Mr. McCurdy's sad
Elmer
story.
McCurdy.
That is Elmer.
Well,
McCurdy.
he was a prolific criminal, though.
A terrible
he was a terrible one.
A really
yeah.
bad one. They including
the young age of
his infamous
31.
claim to
Oh my
fame.
God.
He died at 31, but he was done for the worst train robbery in history. They stole about $46. It was just
Insane.
a disaster. There was nothing on the train. They got the
They
wrong
caused
train.
the Great
see. I thought you
Depression.
said. I thought you meant they were like killing tons of people, but no, it was just a terrible, badly done
really
job.
bad. They just didn't get anything. They got the wrong train. The right train had about $500,000 on. Their train was just some people. They nicked a wallet from one of the drivers and a bit of whiskey. That was all they had. It's quite funny. Anyway, that's our mailbag. Thank you for that.
Thanks so
email
much for
finish on.
listening
That was
to our
great.
mailbag.
Thank you, everyone.
We mean it. We
Thank you
really
so
mean
much.
it. Thank you so much for listening to our mailbag. And keep those emails coming. You guys are fantastic. Let's put a line under and over the squirrel killing thing. Don't need any more emails about that. I appreciate that universal support and that these two bozos were wrong for a change. I really did appreciate that, but I don't want to talk about it again because it'll upset the chaps. All right, so let's move on. Next topic, please.
I'm crying and
Keep them coming.
All
Love in the emails.
Love you.
Peace out.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.